Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel with pride. Once upon a time, there was a kind and humble girl named Cinderella. She lived with her proud and haughty stepmother and two rude stepsisters. They were always bragging about how rich they were and teasing Cinderella for being poor. Cinderella didn't let their hurtful words get to her. She knew that being humble and hardworking was more important than expensive clothes or a fancy house. Each day, Cinderella woke up early to cook, clean, and do chores for her stepfamily. Even though they were mean to her, she did the work happily. One day, a royal messenger arrived with exciting news. There was going to be a grand ball at the palace, so the prince could find a bride. Ladies from all over the kingdom were invited, including Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters. The step family was thrilled about going to the ball and meeting the prince. They loudly talked about the beautiful ball gowns they would wear and the magnificent jewelry they would dazzle him with. Cinderella politely asked, "May I go to the ball too?" But the stepmother scoffed. "You? With your tattered clothes and dirty face? Certainly not." The stepsisters cackled and said Cinderella was too ugly for the prince or the ball. Cinderella tried not to let their harsh words upset her. "If it is your wish that I do not go, then I will respect that," she replied humbly. Though on the inside, Cinderella was sad about missing the magical night at the palace. On the evening of the royal ball, Cinderella helped her step-family get ready. She fixed their hair, got their dresses, and polished their jewelry. After they left, Cinderella sat by the fireplace weeping, wishing she could also go to the ball and see the splendid palace. Suddenly, Cinderella's fairy godmother appeared in a burst of sparkles. "Do not fret, my child. You may go to the ball," she declared. With a flick of her magic wand, she transformed Cinderella's rags into a gorgeous blue gown and sparkling glass slippers. A magnificent carriage with white horses appeared to take her to the palace, but the fairy godmother warned, "The magic will only last until midnight. You must leave the ball before then." Cinderella thanked her humbly and set off excitedly for the royal ball. At the palace, Cinderella tried not to gawk at the splendor surrounding her. Though she looked like a princess on the outside, on the inside she remained gracious and modest. The prince was enchanted by Cinderella's gentle humility, and they danced together all night. But Cinderella remembered the fairy godmother's warning. Just before the clock struck 12, she rushed away from the ball and prince. In her haste, one of her glass slippers slid off onto the palace stairs. The next day, the prince declared he would find the mysterious girl who fit the glass slipper. He did not care about riches or status, only her kind and humble heart. When the prince arrived at Cinderella's home, the stepsisters tried squeezing their big feet into the tiny slipper. But their feet did not fit, for they were swollen with pride and arrogance. Finally, it was Cinderella's turn. She humbly knelt before the prince. The glass slipper slid onto her foot like magic. At last, the prince had found the humble, kind-hearted girl he loved. He asked Cinderella to marry him, and she joyfully accepted. Cinderella and the prince were wed in a splendid ceremony at the palace. Her heart remained humble and gracious, even as a princess. She realized that her kindness and humility were her true treasures, not fancy clothes or jewels. Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after and ruled the kingdom with wisdom, empathy, and humility. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel with pride.